Tuesday evening at 6:30 in White Plains. JC Dornick is going to be doing a trilogy night. So JC's always a bundle of energy and very motivational. So if you have new clients or potential coaches, I know it's a little bit of a trip up there, but it would definitely be worthwhile, I'm sure. Thursday night at 9 o'clock, Dominic Taranelli and Dan Bell, are going to be hosting a Zoom meeting on setting some goals for the new year. And we really would like to have a great showing for this as well. I think it's going to be great. I think it's definitely the time of year right now for us to set some goals and really accomplish some really great things.
Oh.
Okay.
Sorry, Mary, I muted you by accident.
That's okay. Did you hear most of it?
Yes.
For Thursday. Okay. So I just
end with Dominic, right?
Okay. So yeah, I definitely encourage everyone to try to be on that call. So let's see. This Saturday in Rockville Center from 9 to 12:30, Marge and Rick Mendez and Mark Nelson, cardiologist, and his wife Margaret will be doing a trilogy presentation as well. So it's a wonderful opportunity to bring any interested clients, any current clients, to give them the motivation and to help them stay connected, and any potential new coaches. So that's this Saturday in Rockville Center. And they're really getting quite a group together there. I believe they had 60 people the last time. So would like to support that also. The fourth event, and very importantly as well, is January 31st up in Tarrytown. That's a super regional. And we're really very lucky to be able to have Dr. Anderson as well as Dan Bell both that day. So if you haven't made your hotel reservations, even if you think you might not want them, I would say go ahead and try to get them, and definitely register for this event and make it your business to really try to be there, because this is one of the most important events probably that will occur within driving distance for a very long time. And then last but not least, and I'm very excited about this, on January 12th, there's going to be another meltdown challenge that will be happening. And we don't have a whole lot of details yet, but it is certainly not too early to be mentioning this to your clients and just talking about it. And as we were chatting a little bit before we started tonight, I think one of the most fun things to say to people is, oh my goodness, we're going to be having another meltdown challenge. I don't have any details yet, but all I know is the last one, we had 30,000 people across the country, and we actually crashed the server for 3 days and they had to shut it down to regroup. So that's a very good problem to have. So one of the things that we wanted to speak about tonight, and I want you to realize that even though it's December, even though it's holiday time, people very much are already thinking about their plan for January 2nd, and they're coming up with a plan. And the question that we need to ask ourselves is, when people think about health, are they going to be thinking about us? And we're going to be talking tonight about two different topics, both of which I think are really very important, very basic, but yet very important. And we're going to go over scripting, first of all, how to speak about Take Shape for Life with ease. And secondly, how to teach your clients how to refer to you. So as far as speaking about Take Shape for Life, I think what you really need to remember, or that we all need to remember, is that it really is pretty simple. You will be successful in this business if you do two things. One, if you're enthusiastic. There's a saying that says, if you catch on fire, people will come to watch you burn. Just remember that our own enthusiasm is definitely catching, and people don't want to be left out. And when they see someone that's enthusiastic and happy about something, you know what? They want to be around that person, and they want to be surrounded with people, by people that have good energy. So just keep that in mind and be happy, be enthusiastic, and be confident that we have something really unbelievable to share. And the other thing is, speak to people. We have to speak about what we do. We have to spread the word. So often when we're newer coaches, and even sometimes us more seasoned coaches, it's easy to get discouraged. We drip, we talk. Remember that it's a numbers game. And in general, if you need to speak to 10 people to get 2 people on the program. And I'll never forget some statistics that Dan Bell had shared at one point that said 80% of sales are made on the 5th to the 12th contact, and only 2% are made on the first contact. So just keep that in mind, and use your speaking about Take Shape for Life to really kind of just let people know what you do and develop a relationship with them rather than try to get them as a client. What you're really trying to do is create a relationship. So when you're speaking to people, there might be several different venues for you to share your new career. If you're a new health coach, especially, you may be running into people in person. You may want to call them by phone, and you may want to actually set up some lunch meetings with people just to let them know kind of what you're doing. So there's really 2 types of coaches, those that have a weight loss story and those that don't. And we're going to talk a little bit about both. If you do have a weight loss story, it really makes sense, and it's easiest for us to speak about our own story. And when you do that, it's kind of comes naturally for you to think of it as just sharing with people, not selling, right? Just sharing. So often new health coaches will say to me, or people that are contemplating coaching, I can't sell. I don't want to sell. So, but you really need to think about this as just sharing your story, and this really is the most important part of the process. Tell your story with sincerity, be excited about it, be emotional. Because clients need to be moved by our story. They need to feel that inspiration, which will tell them that this program really is more about health than just weight loss. An example, if you call somebody on the phone, could be something like, "Hi, Susie, this is Jane." Chit-chat with them a little bit and say, "I was thinking about you today and thought I'd give you a call." Or, "Hi, it's great to see you," if you do see them in person. And just say to them, "Do you have a quick minute? Everything is really great. In fact, I don't know if you know, but I lost 50 pounds this past year with a great program that was so easy that I actually couldn't believe it. In fact, you know what? I did so well on the program, and I'm so excited about it that the company actually asked me to become a coach for them to help other people get healthy. So, you know what? I'm just letting everybody know what I'm doing, and I'd like to ask for their help in getting the word out." So, it's pretty easy. It's pretty conversational. It's a great thing to be able to say, before Take Shape for Life or before this program, I felt tired, I felt homeless, I was on medication, on and on and on, whatever refers to you and your particular story. Again, you want to be sincere about this, and that needs to come across. But, since the program, wow, I lost 50 pounds, I have hope for the first time, my energy is great, it was so easy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Pick the biggest things that happen to you personally and just share those really from your heart. If you don't have a weight loss story, it is no problem. So very often new coaches think they can't do this because they don't have a weight loss story. But you know what? It's so easy for you to say, "Geez, you know what? I have a new job, or I made a career change and I've just decided to dedicate myself to help people get healthy." Or you could even say, "You know what? I've always concentrated on being fit, physically fit, and I really try to do the best I can through my life to be healthy, but I realize so many people in this country don't have that. So, I just kind of made it my mission to help people create health in their lives." So that's very simply all you need to do if you want to talk to people about what you're doing now, even if you didn't lose weight on the program. So just in kind of ending here, I want to review some statements. And most of these were from Kim Fisk, who she made this document called Collecting Yeses. And in fact, at the end of this document, or we're going to try to send these notes out if you feel it would be helpful, but there's a link that you can go on to hear Kim explain a lot of what I'm explaining here, but in a different way also. So the idea is to be in charge of the conversation and do it in a manner where you're asking people questions where you're going to get them to say yes. So I'm just going to give you some examples. So you could say to them, "You know what, would you mind, or would it be okay if I sent you some information about what I do? Or would you mind sharing your email address so that I can send you some information?" That's even more important because it's best to always try to get your contact's email address or information so that you will be able to contact them in the future. You could also say, "You know what, this may not be for you, but gosh, you know what, you're taking a look at it. If anybody comes to mind who wants to lose some weight or get healthy, or get off their medications, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Would you be willing to give them my information? I'm trying to get the word out, and I'm really hoping to build this business by word of mouth referrals. Another yes. Who's going to tell you no? Right? Don't forget to skip this step, because you know what? Your friends and family love you, and they want you to do well. So they really do want to help you. And then it's a really great thing to say, would you mind if I check back with you in a couple days to see if you got my info and see if you had any questions? Or would it be okay if I updated you occasionally on how things are going for me? Hey, are you on Facebook? Let's connect there too. And you know what? If they themselves are not interested, or are interested, but maybe just are not ready, or not ready to try it, or want to try something on their own, or even if they're doing another program, sometimes the best thing to say is, great, good luck, I hope you do well. Would you mind if I just kept in touch periodically with you to tell you how things are going? That's a really great thing to do, because you're acknowledging and respecting the fact that they're doing another program, but you're just kind of dripping on them and staying in the background. I think all of these seasoned coaches on the line tonight can attest to the fact that, you know, we talk to people about Take Shape for Life, we tell them what we're doing, and sometimes years go by before they come back and express interest. So one of the things that Kim says can be done, which, and I love this, if you create like distribution lists for your potential clients in your email, for example, and like maybe once a month or so, just send out an email with the subject that says something like, Susie lost 50 pounds. And then in the body, just put a before and after picture of somebody and their success story. Now, this information you can get from Team Global webinars, and it should be compliant if you use it. But what I loved about this is it's short, it's sweet, and the subject grabs attention. So, you know, always send a follow-up email to your contacts and to thank them actually for helping you spread the word. And if they sound interested, obviously you want to follow up within 48 hours. So there are some other for coach only links that we have added to the end of this document. And if you are interested in, seeing the actual notes that we just went over, we very easily can email them to you. But I mean, that's pretty much it for just kind of going over an easy way, very conversational way, non-threatening, non-sales-like way to talk about Take Shape for Life. So Jody, I don't know if we want to stop and ask questions or if we want to go into teaching clients how to refer.
I think this is a great point. If anybody has questions that we could put right here apropos to your presentation, which I thought was great, Mary. Please,
thank you.
You could raise your hands, or you could raise your electronic hand if anyone has any questions or comments. If they've tried something that worked, that didn't work.
The idea is not to memorize these lines, but there is a certain amount of practice that I think needs to happen. And Jody and I were discussing that earlier today, that you do need to come up with your own words. But in order to do that, there's a lot of different examples of what we gave you tonight. Try to pick the one that feels the most comfortable to you and practice it and own it, feel comfortable with it. Also in the coach training guide, number 1, there's an area on creating your own story that you can reference as well.
Right. So if any of these things that we mentioned, I know Miriam usually begins by saying, grab your pen and pencil, or pen or pencil and a pad to write some notes down during this meeting, because there are going to be some things you're going to want to remember. And if there's anything that you hear that you're unsure of, please ask your health coach, because we're really here to help, follow up on that and help connect you at your pace to the resources that we have. But I want to just underscore what Mary said, the importance of practice. None of us were born health coaches, and we have all different backgrounds. We bring all different gifts from the lives from where we've come to this health coach position or our business that we have. And we all are unique individuals with really wonderful strengths and talents. We start to sound alike when we listen to the leaders who have kind of paved the road for us and have become successful coaching many, many people and many, many coaches. And so I know the thing that has really probably pushed me to where, or promoted me and my progress in this business, is listening to calls and practicing. And I kind of just want to highlight it for a minute before going into the next part of the topic, because what Mary said is true. It's so much about practice. And so I see practice as happening a couple of ways. one way is listening to the different calls that the company presents. We have, the nurse calls, the doctor's call, and the habits of health call. And I'll tell you, I listen to the calls not only for the content of the calls, which really has helped me to feel like a more competent health coach in terms of information and concepts, but more so as time went on, I listened to the calls for how to hear how the leaders say things. And there were times that I listened to the calls that really reinforced what I already knew. And there were times that the way they said it is what stood out. And then there were times that I felt like, oh, the way I knew to say it, I thought sounded better, but it reinforced it for me. And it was that kind of practice over and over that helped to build my competence, which in turn built my confidence. And I'll always remember when coaching my friend Jeanette, who's on the line tonight, when she said, Jody, you really always sound so professional, but now I get it. You sound like everybody else. Don't take it personally. And that's exactly the point. It doesn't matter where we've come from, and it doesn't matter what our careers were before we moved into this new career of health coaching. We could all learn it. It's just learned skills. Go ahead, Mary.
One of the intent that we had tonight was exactly what the title of this Zoom call is, which is to be bulletproof, about speaking about Take Shape for Life, handling objections and questions. And it's just a really wonderful, confident feeling to be able to have the answers when people do ask you questions. So a little bit of practice here and there will definitely assist you with that.
Thank you, Mary. And the other piece is too, when Mary says answers, it's not always having the answers to the question, a precise question that the potential client or client is asking you. It's just knowing how to respond to their questions that are key. And so I find that when you know what you have and you kind of have at your fingertips how to respond to some questions, but more importantly, how to ask questions to get more at what the person is looking for, then you have a conversation. And when you know in your soul, because I think many on the line are successful clients themselves, when you know and you focus on how this program or why this program has worked for you and why you decided to pay it forward and help others, and you know what you've got, a health program that has potentially really transformed and changed your life, the details of what people are asking almost doesn't matter. Because really what speaks to people is your feeling, your confidence, your commitment, and just knowing what you have and believing in it. And that's what so many people really look for, is believing in something. I see some hands going up. Cindy?
Yeah, I wanted to say, I think the beauty of the program is that there's so much support that you don't have to be concerned that you know all the answers. And it's even a nice thing to be able to say, let's take that question and go on the nurse's call or the doctor's call and bring it forward and ask. I think it gives another level of expertise. And, we're coaches, but we're always learning, and it doesn't make us, some super people that are untouchable. And I think what you're saying about the enthusiasm can't be emphasized enough. I feel like the love I have for the program is my biggest strength.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody feels that. And I think that's true for so many of the coaches. We see what the program can do and how it can help people. And that has a big impact.
Absolutely. Thank you, Cindy. Suzanne, I'm going to take your question, and then we're going to move back to the topic. Go ahead, Suzanne.
Can I ask you and Mary, what are effective responses when you know that it has to do with the cost of the program?
Okay. You know what? We are going to be handling that in great detail next week. But I'll tell you, if you contact us maybe during the week, we can go over that with you. But if you wouldn't mind, because that's a whole topic in itself. Is that all right if we do that?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, Mary and I were reviewing several scripts because there are common things, and that's one of them. And so we decided, because it's December, and our goal was really to help equip you to be bulletproof for this month, so that when people are now thinking about what they want to do in January, the thinking takes shape for life. And that right now we begin together to build momentum, to create really a momentum in December, to position ourselves for success in January, and to be the program that people think of. So,
You know, I mean, when people ask, just to give you a real quick one-liner, what I typically say is, you know what, it costs about $2 a meal. It's less than a cup of coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. But let's find out what your needs are to see if this program is even a good fit for you. So that's usually how I kind of skim over that. But we'll speak about that next week in greater detail. And if you want some notes on that in the meantime, just reach out and we're happy to send them, okay?
Thanks.
Great.
all right, you're welcome. So now the next part, this is Call It Take Shape for Life, not MetaFast, by the way. Teach your clients how to refer to you. So it's extremely important to, whenever speaking about our program, to refer to it as Take Shape for Life, because obviously this is our program, Take Shape for Life. We're not MetaFast, because as we all know, our program is a comprehensive optimal health program, where we help people create health and actually transform their lives for good. The reason I caution you about using MetaFast, and we talk about this all the time, is not to hide that we use MetaFast, but rather to distract from that fact, because many people really get distracted once the term is used. They might have some history or feelings about it, and it draws attention to the diet aspect of our program. As we all know, MetaFast meal replacements are just one small part, or as I like to refer to it as, the magic food in our program. But you know, it really is distracting from the true offering of creating comprehensive health in their lives. In addition, if you should really know as health coaches, if people go directly to MetaFast, they will not only not get our support, which makes this program so successful, but you will not get the credit for their order. And oftentimes, you know, it kind of from there moves on to people not being happy, not succeeding, and it's bad press. So we want to teach your clients how to refer others. And so we always like to tell our clients, you know, Mary and I talk about this as well, that as you lose weight on the program, people are definitely going to notice. And when they ask what you're doing, please tell them that you're doing a great health program with a free health coach. I even sometimes say, if you're not comfortable telling people yet that you're doing this program, feel free to tell them that you're working with me, that you're working with this woman, and she'd be happy to contact you because she would love to help you just like she's helping me. I ask, again, to avoid saying the MetaFast part because of the reasons we've discussed before. You know, it's important to kind of remember that, because when people observe your clients at work, at home, wherever they go, they're seeing the food that they eat. And it's really no wonder that MetaFast becomes the focus, because they're unwrapping food, they're eating this unusual stuff. And so people pay notice to it. But what's really important is to remind clients that it's such a small part, and we want to help people, your friends and family who notice, to get out of their own way just like you did. So that's why we really want to avoid that. Some coaches also like to encourage referrals by offering to give clients a referral fee or cash on account, whether it be $10, $17, or $25 for every person they refer. It's a nice incentive. It's motivating, and particularly during this holiday season, it's really motivating. I will tell you that some coaches are now, for December, upping their referral fee from their usual perhaps 10, 15, or 17 to maybe 25 in order to really, really try to motivate people during this holiday season. And some people are also offering what I'm referring to as a friends and family program, that for anybody new that comes in and would like to get involved in the program, if they join with a family member or friend, they can each receive a gift on their account. For more details on how to do that, you can ask your health coach, but in brief, you're going to put cash on account by going into your shopping cart, clicking on cash on account, and you actually add your client's ID number to the account and how much money you would like to put on their account. And that's how it goes with your credit card, and they'll have cash on their account. If you'd like to set up a new client with any incentive, by the way, like with that friends and family, the easiest way to do that is to call directly to client services, where they can, let me just mute, I'm sorry, where they can actually start up the account over the phone for you, start up the account, put the cash on account for the new client, so that when they place their first order, they in fact get that discount. It's very, very motivating and very helpful for people. I want you also to remember that Take Shape for Life is the professional coaching division, and that Medifast has created it themselves in partnership with Dr. A, specifically to support their own clients and help them be more successful for their weight loss journey. So if people do get distracted and do ask you about that, let them know that we really are the professional coaching arm and that we work together. I also want you to know that if you come across anyone who has gone directly through Medifast and now in speaking with you, they would like to have your support as a health coach, there are two things that can happen. First of all, you can put in for a recovery request through the Office in Motion, through the back office, where you can have them transferred, and you can actually have that order transferred to you so that you get credit for it. But you can also start them fresh up as a Take Shape for Life client, and by doing that, they will be able to they are eligible to again become a B-Slim client and receive all those perks, such as the 5 extra boxes on the first order and the free shipping and such. It's really a great way to encourage people to participate in Take Shape for Life and become clients. I think that's kind of it. It's really, it comes down to right from the outset, feeling comfortable asking for referrals. And I will tell you, I really encourage you to bring it up right when profiling a client, when you do your initial interview, and after you're signing them up, before ending, let them know that you really want to help anyone that would like to participate the way they are, that's struggling with on medications or lack of energy or not feeling well or weight that they've had issue with, that you'd love to help them. And the easiest way for you to help them is for them to keep it short and sweet and just pass on your information. And even better than that, asking them if it would be okay, if they would want you to pass their information on to their own health coach. So I'm going to open up the lines now. We really want to welcome any questions, specific questions or comments to help you along. All right. You know what? I think instead of opening all lines, perhaps if you raise your electronic hand or raise your hand, we'll do it one by one in order to keep down on the noise. Quite a crowd this evening. Okay. How surprising. We were so comprehensive, Mary and I, that you feel all equipped to go out and rock this world.
The most important thing is just tell people what you do. Talk about what you do, because if you don't share it, no one is going to know. And I always like to say, we have a responsibility to speak about what we do, because there are people out there that we speak to and run into every single day that are desperate to get healthy. And they have no guidance, and they don't know where to go, and they don't know who to speak to. So take a chance. Tell people what you do. Maybe you will be the answer to someone's prayer that day, because there are plenty of people out there that are looking to get healthy.
Yeah, and while we're in December, along with those lines, Mary, I really agree with you. And I often have to shift my own perspective to, should I say something? Should I share it? That whole Dan Bell, he says, don't shit on yourself. So I know for me, when I start shitting, I need to kind of switch my perspective. And I think that's the part that you just said, that perspective shift of, we're not imposing ourselves on other people. We're not trying to sell people, for that matter. But what we have, we know is life changing, and that it really is our responsibility and job and desire to help people who want to help themselves. And that's really who we're looking for. And it's by dripping and talking a little bit at a time and planting the seeds that sometimes you hit it, that people are ready to move right away. Other times they hear it over and over, and they see you over and over again. And then they're just ready because they're trusting to take the next step. They have hope because you've kind of built it up for them, and they're ready on their own time.
I encourage all of you, we're going to send the notes out. We're going to email these notes out tonight, but try to get on the link at the end of the notes by Kim Fisk on the collecting yeses part, because that really is very helpful. And she talks a lot about what Jody just said, not trying to sell, but just trying to create a relationship. Because you know what? People buy things from people that they trust and that they like. So if they don't like you and they don't trust you and they don't think you're sincere, they're not going to go for this and even want to get healthy with you. So thank you all. I guess there's no more questions.
Yeah, just before closing, Mary, I just wanted to underscore the importance of registering for this super regional event at the end of January, particularly for those coaches who are attending, who would like to attend, who are Sabbath observing, that we are trying to arrange for a communal room for both prayer services and communal meals. And in order to really do that well, we need to kind of get a good count. So if you're thinking of going, please email me or Miriam. Let us know of your intention, if you'll be staying and will be joining us. We would love to have you. And the last plug I kind of wanted to do for the events that Mary announced is this. Like I said, calls really have done it for me and have really built my confidence and competence. But I have to say that the most life-changing part is going to the events. You know, we so easily say, go to the events and they're so great and you'll enjoy them. But the depth can't be explained. It's kind of like trying to explain to someone what Disney is like. It's only once you're there can you really know what that experience was, or going to the beach to try to describe how serene it is and the waves crash on the beach and you put your toes in the sand. You can't quite get the same experience as being there yourself. But being at these events, being in a room filled with hundreds, potentially hundreds of like-minded people trying to create or committing to create health in their lives and in the lives of others is really just so empowering. And then add to it these leaders that have been doing it for years, who are inspiring, who are articulate, who are funny, who are real through and through, who are congruous with what they want, what they teach, what they share, how they live. It is incredibly powerful. And to have Dan Bell and Dr. Ray himself be at this local event, really. I think many people on the line are probably within an hour drive to this event, that you could meet them, be with them, feel that energy, get into that momentum, see the integrity of the company that you're a part of, that we're all a part of. It's really priceless. So I encourage you all to come and really feel the magic. Cindy, before we close,
Yeah, I must echo that, Jody. I don't think there really is a way to understand the commitment, feeling, and the soul behind this program without attending an event. You will find yourself in a room of people that you will be very happy to be with.